This is a basic sentence greetings. 你好 你好 Hello 안녕하세요 你好 早上好早上好早上好 Good morning 早上好 좋은 아침입니다 早上好 Third expression is 晚上好晚上好晚上好晚上好 Good evening Good evening你好吗你好吗你好吗你好吗你好吗 How are you How are you How are you 你好吗你好吗This is I'm fine 我很好我很好我很好我很好我很好我很好 This expression is very familiar. Maybe you guys already heard that. 谢谢谢谢谢谢我很好谢谢谢谢 Thank you. And in Korean, 감사합니다. 谢谢。不高级，不高级。You're welcome。不高级，不高级，不高级，不高级，不高级。Next one is 对不起，对不起，对不起。I'm sorry。对不起。In Korean, 죄송합니다. 对不起，对不起。This one is 没关系，没关系。It's okay, it's okay. 没关系。In Korea, 괜찮아요. 没关系。This is a very magical sentence, right? This one is sing, please, sing, please come in, sing. She, yes, she. Bushy, no, bushy, she. 见，再见，再见，你好，再见，Goodbye，再见。明天见，明天见。See you tomorrow. 明天见，明天见。내일 봐요. In Korean. 明天见。今晚，今晚，今晚 ，Excuse me， 今晚，今晚。My name is 我叫丁贵宝尼。我叫。好高兴认识你，好高兴认识你，好高兴认识你。Nice to meet you. 만나서 반갑습니다. 好高兴认识你，好高兴认识你。웰컴 환영합니다. 워잉我不会说中文，我不会说中文，我不会说中文。I don't speak Chinese. 我不会说中文。This is very difficult. 我不会说中文。 중국어를 못해요. 会说英语吗？你会说英语吗？你会说英语吗？ Do you speak English? 영어 하세요. 你会说英语吗？你会说英语吗？这样吗？一定要说，这样吗？你一定要说。Please speak more slowly. 这样吗？一定要说。Also, you can say 请说吗？你听，请说吗？你听。我听不懂，我听不懂，我听不懂。I don't understand. 我听不懂. 이해 못했어요. 我听不懂. This one is so difficult, but let me try. 现在说一次，现在说一次，现在说一次。Please say it again. 다시 한번 말해주세요. 现在说一次，现在说一次。这是什么？这是什么？这是什么？这是什么？ What is this? 이게 뭐예요? 这是什么？ This 知道，我不知道，我不知道，我不知道。I don't know. 몰라요. 我不知道。거의마, 거의마, estar okay. 거의마, 괜찮을까요? 거의마, 거의마, 거의마. 당랑거의 of course 물론이죠. 당랑거의 거의마 당랑거의 당랑거의 와시안세가 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 I like this 이걸 좋아해요. 와시안세가 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 I like this sentence. 와시안세가 와버시환 와버시환 I don't like it. 와버시환 좋아하지 않아요. 와버시환 시환 와버시환 아우츠 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 delicious 맛있어요. 아우츠 아우츠 J가 GK와 J가多少钱？多少钱？多少钱？ How much is it? 얼마예요? 多少钱？多少钱？太贵了，太贵了，太贵了，太贵了，太贵了。Too expensive. 너무 비싸요. 太贵了.太贵了，太贵了。想着这里，我想着这里，我想着这里。I want to go here. 여기 가고 싶어요. 我想着这里。 小心，小心，小心，小心。Be careful. 조심하세요. 小心，小心。加油，加油，加油. You can do it. 힘내세요. 加油, 加油, 加油.祝你好运，祝你好运，祝你好运。Good luck, good luck, good luck, good luck, good luck. 祝你好运，祝你好运. 행운을 빌어요. 祝你好运.我累了，我累了，我累了。I'm tired. 피곤해요. 我累了，我累了。我很开心，很开心，我很开心，开心，开心。I'm happy. 我很开心，开心，开心。This is a beautiful sentence. 我爱你，我爱你。I love you. 사랑해요. 我爱你，我爱你，我爱你。 So this is the last sentence of the day. Today. 祝你美好的一天。祝你有美好的一天。Have a nice day. 좋은 하루 보내세요.祝你有美好